5-Year Mission, the podcast, episode 13.
5-Year Mission, the podcast is proud to have Fansets as its presenting sponsor. Fansets is the place for amazing pin collectibles with over 200 officially licensed Star Trek pins and new releases every month. Stay tuned for a special discount code good on your next order at fansets.com. Fansets, our pins have character.
By now you figured out that this is the 5-Year Mission podcast.
Welcome to 5-Year Mission, the podcast, coronavirus special.
Coronavirus edition.
Well, you know what we need to do? We need to redo all our intros. We did all those intros and they're not right anymore.
Right.
Change what we were doing.
Yeah, we had the kids do the right
Mental
one.
note. I know. That went pretty well. I mean, as well as to be expected.
All right, ready? We'll do it right now.
Okay.
Cameras off, Andy.
1, 2, 3, 4. By now you
Figured
that
this
is
is
5-Year Mission, the podcast.
That was perfect.
Epic.
So if our listeners haven't been able to tell yet, this is the coronavirus edition of 5-Year Mission, the podcast, and all three of us are in separate places right now instead of all three sitting next to each other because we don't want cooties. Corona cooties. I like that you guys look all professional with your headphones and everything, and I'm just sitting here on my phone.
These are my work cans.
Did you just call them cans?
Yeah. That's what we call them in the recording business.
Oh, so this isn't going to be a regular episode of the podcast itself. So we're going to do the coronavirus edition and just talk about stuff we're going to do while we're self-isolating. Because as of now, Chris is going to be working from home, and I'm going to be working from home starting tomorrow. And Mike has severely limited his hours at Hero House Comics, 1112 East Prospect. No, just Prospect. 1112 Prospect Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, heart of Fountain Square.
What are the new hours?
Temporarily, I'm going to be closed on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I'm still going to be open on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturday, Sunday.
New comic book day.
Yeah. Not that I get that much business. Actually, I'm also offering people can just order books and I'll ship them to them. I've already had a few people take advantage of that. So,
what about hand delivery? Will you just bring me some books? I mean, I always come to see you, but you never return that favor.
Well,
actually, what's funny is what Mike, what you should offer is since you have the mail slot in the door, just be able to be like, yeah, hand me your credit card or cash through the mail slot, and I will hand you your books through the mail slot.
That seems like it could work out pretty well for you, Mike.
Not a bad idea. I might just put that into practice full time.
Yeah, just do that for the people with poll lists.
Yeah, or just anyone. It's like a drive-up window. What do you want?
There you go.
And speaking of coronavirus and being quarantined, our company is completely virtual starting today. And today we had a 4:00 virtual meeting, and it was a happy hour. Everybody brought their beers. We had a drink together and just chatted for an hour just to kind of, so you still have that camaraderie and unity like you do in the office, which we can't do right now. So it was kind of a nice thing.
I'm thinking for my first video meeting that I have to do for work tomorrow, I should just hold up a glass that looks like it's full of whiskey or something. Just be like, yep, 9 a.m. I'm ready.
I have those Pure Leaf tea. The Pure Leaf tea. They have kind of the square bottles. They look like squarish bottles. Man, I'll be on a meeting and drinking one of those, and somebody always is like, "What are you drinking?" They think I'm drinking. I'm just boozing, while I'm on the meeting. You'd think that people would have seen those enough now that they would know, but
You'd think so, but not anymore.
yeah.
It's 2020. Things are dying. You might as well booze it up at work.
I've seen a lot of interesting ways that people are trying to make things easier on themselves while they're quarantined. I mean, a lot of people aren't used to this kind of thing. I'm one that has done a lot of work from home, and so it's weird, but it's not as big a deal for me. But there's a lot of people that aren't used to that. And then we got a lot of people. My brother works in a restaurant, and they shut down today. So there's a lot of people out there that just they don't have the work from home option.
Yeah,
which would be difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily enough, I work for a very, very small office, and they just literally at like 3:00 today, they were like, "Hey, we're just gonna send you home with your desktops from your desk and pack them all up." So I have my dual monitors over there and my actual hard drive, mouse, keyboard, everything, all my notes. And also Kelsey, my girlfriend, is also working from home right now too. So this is going to be a 2-person office starting tomorrow.
Changing all our taxes.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can actually like write off our house now, since we're technically paying for office space now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that is true. Do you rent?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that applies. I guess it would, because it is an office. Yeah. It is a business expense.
Yeah, I mean, if I do it for a full month, I can probably write it off.
So, did anybody do anything fun for
St. Patrick's Day?
St. Patrick's Day, yeah.
I found out that I'm working from home for St. Patrick's Day.
Well, just like every year, I encouraged many people to watch the classic Disney film, Darby O'Gill and the Little People. Have you ever seen Darby O'Gill and the Little People?
Yes, I have seen it.
Okay.
I think I've seen screenshots of it. I've never actually watched it.
It has Sean Connery in it. And really,
he's super young though, right?
He is. It's from the late 50s. It's like 1958, I think. And it is... it has impressive special effects for the time, because they do they have leprechauns in it, and
real leprechauns.
Just one would assume not. Speaking of Disney, we have Disney Plus. Frozen 2 is now available. Just in case you were wondering. Oh, you know what else? They pushed the release of Mulan. They're pushing a lot of releases.
They're pushing a lot of releases.
But did you see that Universal is releasing some of the current films that are in the theater? They're releasing them for on demand, like
I saw that,
and The Hunt and things like that. However, to rent, it's like a 48-hour rental, and it's $19.99.
Yep. So basically, what you pay in the movie theater to go see a movie
with this, with snacks.
For 2 people to go, yeah.
So I like the idea of doing the video on demand because the theaters are closed, so you can't go to the theater. I like the idea of movies that have already been released or are soon to be released being available, but I do take exception with the price they're trying to charge, because it just seems like if they with the current coronavirus.
You're not supposed to be doing gatherings of 10 or more people, but if you were to get 10 people into your house and do video on demand and have everybody chip in like $2, you're seeing a brand new movie for $2, and also possibly not spreading the coronavirus at the same time.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's too risky.
Possibly.
6 feet, man. 6 feet.
But then that 11th friend shows up, and then everybody's screwed, man.
I know. You got 60 feet worth of room in there? I don't think so.
We could find a place.
Maybe we should talk about that. Something really cool that you could do while you're being quarantined. You could watch a quarantine stream
Saturday, March 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing a live, what we're calling a quarantine stream, where people can, but by the time this is released, I'll have the GoFundMe set up, and we are going to be doing a live acoustic set where people can make requests, and for $5 they can request a song, and then before the show we'll tally them all up, and we'll play the most popular ones, and then as the show progresses, if we hit a certain mark, we will play more songs that were requested. So just follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and we'll be posting those details here very soon. There's already an event marked, and we'll be streaming on Facebook Live, March 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern.
And most importantly, not only will you be able to get a little break in your boredom, all the money that we bring in using this GoFundMe, we're going to donate that. We're not taking any of it for ourselves. We're going to donate it all. So we haven't decided exactly what charity it's going to be yet, but it will be related to the coronavirus. And, just trying to do our part in donating a little bit of money and providing some entertainment, which during this difficult time, it is very strange for all of us. Trying to make it as not strange as possible.
we could always split it up between a couple of charities.
That's true.
Sure, we could do that too. I think it really depends on how we do as far as the collection. If we get $50, we're not going to split that up. But if we got $10,000, we could split that up nicely. So
yeah, maybe we could do like one global coronavirus charity, and then maybe do like one local for, say, since we're from Indianapolis, maybe do one global, one local.
Yeah.
Listen to us brainstorming on the podcast.
Well, I think that's good though, because I think that we can decide on where the money goes after the campaign, because we can probably get a lot of input from people who are donating, and they can say, "Hey, here's a suggestion," and then we can, maybe if we get several suggestions to the same charity, then we can direct the funds that way. Yeah, we are just kind of we just came up with this, so
yeah.
I mean, it's not like we've had much of a chance to talk about this in person,
right?
Very true. It's been a few emails back and forth, and we're gonna have basically one practice for this, and still that's even iffy. But we're just gonna have to make sure it's just the five of us, and none of us have a sore throat or a dry cough or a fever. Maybe we should all before we enter Hero House for an acoustic practice, maybe we should all take our temperatures before we walk in.
We'll have to do everything virtual.
Yeah,
I don't have a great setup for playing live here, so we'll have to just keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody will stay safe. Hopefully everybody's kind of staying in as much as possible. Obviously Noah is doing the best at it, considering we've heard 2 words out of him in the past 3 days.
He did say that he was good with the show, though. He's on the show.
But he's basically right now, Noah is the self-quarantine champion. He's not even risking speaking to anybody through email.
This really is a behind the curtain kind of podcast that we're doing right now.
This is what you get when we do it without any preparation at all.
No.
Well, we do that all the time, but this is so broad, as far as what we come in with a little more well-defined topic, I guess.
Well, because initially tonight we were going to get together and do the episode of What Are Little Songs Made Of for Arena. But considering it's a little hard to do over online, and we can't be there and be oh yeah, and really react to each other, it wouldn't be nearly as fun.
No,
with the video, this is working pretty well.
This kind of sucks.
This sucks, Chris. You and your cans can shed it.
Since I'm working at home now, I also have stripped all barriers and excuses for working out. So it'd be a good opportunity to maybe get back in shape a little bit. That's another thing to do while you're at home, because you don't have to worry about, taking a shower and getting ready. You just get up, you do some push-ups or pull-ups or whatever else your routine, requires, and then slide into the office and go to work.
Yeah, I pretty much I already warned the rest of my coworkers that if they're wanting to do like video meetings, that I will be pantless and they'll have no clue. Actually, what I should do is just toss on my Starfleet uniform.
Yeah.
That would work. Kelsey does not like that idea of me walking around the house in my Starfleet uniform. Pantsless too.
If you know, you know. If you don't, well, you don't.
I don't think that she's gonna make the cut, dude.
Whoa. Well, she is currently sipping whiskey, sitting in a rocking chair, and watching Project Runway.
That's some grandma stuff, man. You can do better. You can do better, man.
Yeah, she doesn't have any knitting projects currently going on. So,
well,
she's making it through working from home.
I was wearing my Cthulhu earlier.
Ooh.
St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, it's a knit cap, but it's like a face mask, and it has the Cthulhu tentacles coming out front. It's quite comfortable, actually. I had to take off my glasses. I have a sty on my eye. It's horrible. Don't get it. It's terrible. Yeah. Can't wear my contacts. I'm in pain. Sucks.
Can't go to the doctor.
Well, there's nothing you can do anyway. We have these, the like moist heat. It's it feels like beads, smells like oatmeal. Just throw that in the microwave, heat it up, and put it on my eye.
Oh, this is fantastic podcasting, fellas.
Great content.
Okay, so let's go back to coronavirus. So what are some good activities for being quarantined? Aside from, movie watching is great if you have a good internet connection and you have some good streaming apps. I have several. I have Netflix. I've got Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
I have Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Disney Plus.
VR. I have Disney Plus. I also have one called VRV, which is great for the kids. It has a bunch of anime on it, but it also has Boomerang, which has like Scooby-Doo and all these old cartoons. It has Tom and Jerry and stuff like that. So it's like $10 a month, and it's made by Crunchyroll. You heard of Crunchyroll? Yeah, it's Crunchyroll. It's anime, and so I have that, and I have Funimation because I got to get my anime fix. Tubi's really good. I think Tubi's free. They got a lot of cool stuff on there.
Yeah, they're starting to put a little more content on there, but they got a lot of like independent movies and stuff like that. And they actually it's basically kind of like the Spotify of like streaming movies.
Yeah,
and they actually pay their artists like the independent filmmakers and actors and things like that. So they pay them per stream of their films. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, check out Tubi if you want to support independent artists in the film world.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few of those apps out there that have more independent content or more public domain, I guess. Movies that have been around forever, or TV shows that are just easy to access.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there if you just want to veg out during the apocalypse.
What I'm really hoping for is more bands and like comedians and things like that are going to start like live streaming things and like taking donations.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them on like Twitch and like YouTube Live and Facebook Live and Instagram Live. Actually, we were watching an Instagram Live concert earlier from our buddies in the band Chuck Lofton. They're local.
Called Chuck Lofton.
Chuck Lofton, yeah. For anybody that's not local, Chuck Lofton is he still a sports broadcaster?
I don't know. Let me find out.
For weather, yeah, he was a local weathercaster. Yeah, and these guys, they're like a kind of like a punk rock, like political punk rock kind of band, but they named themselves Chuck Lofton, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, they named their band Chuck Lofton, and I thought that was one of the funniest names I've ever seen. But they were streaming their practice from their basement on Instagram Live earlier, and I was watching from the 5 Year Mission account and blowing them all kinds of because they had the camera angled the wrong way, so you had to like look at it with your head tilted sideways. And I had to comment. I was like, turn the phone around.
I think that I'd like to see that too, because you can't go see live music.
Right.
And, you know, I would be interested to see, because this kind of, I mean, it kind of eliminates the social aspect. But if musicians were able to get together, like they're having a practice and they could stream a show and get donations. I mean, it's not like we get paid a lot when we go play at a bar, you know. That might be, you know, a combination of those two things, because we don't, you know, we may play out, you know, once or twice in a month, or, you know, recently not even that much. But, you know, if we were able to do something like that, and who's to say we couldn't?
Yeah, I mean, we could try it out with like a full band practice and see like what the sound sounds like. Because I don't know how good it's going to sound in Patrick's basement for like a full band practice, but we can mess with it.
A little much.
Yeah.
I imagine that would be difficult for us to pull off in that setting.
Yeah, either we can like talk to one of the local clubs and see if they'll like let us come in and use their stage or something.
Yeah.
Talk to Radio or the Mill or something, because they're obviously not open.
I was gonna say we could get some pretty good sound from Radio.
Yeah. Especially since we're supposed to play there in May, but with the way this is progressing, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to be canceled? How far out they're going to wait until they make a final decision? Yeah, because Neil Carpenter from England was supposed to fly over and come see us. So hopefully
he may be postponing his trip until the September
show. That's looking unlikely.
Oh, so until the September show?
Yeah.
Well, and a week after that, we're supposed to be in L.A.
In Los Angeles, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably looking pretty iffy at this point, too.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
This will be a good, you know, this acoustic show will be a good trial run. So it'll be, I like when we do the acoustic shows because it's a different dynamic. And you get a little bit more of us. I don't know. You just get a different feel from when we're on stage full electric, because, you know, we're loud and we try to keep things moving pretty quickly. And
well, you can hear the lyrics.
It doesn't always work. Yeah, you can hear the lyrics when we're playing acoustic. That's for sure.
Well, and you know that I thought this was a good idea to do because I was the one that suggested a stupid acoustic show. And you know my feelings on acoustic sets.
Andy has a very strange aversion to acoustic sets.
Because I hate brushes, and I hate being trying to be quieter than normal.
You scoff at that more organic kind of instrumentation, but I don't know, man. It's worked for me in the past.
I'm fine. I'm fine with those in the background, but as my main instrument for something, no, I'm good.
I'll just tell you a kazoo.
There we go. I need a Fisher-Price tambourine, 2 kazoos, one for each side of my mouth, and then another tambourine on my head, and then shakers taped to my ankles. Those are my demands. Love it or leave it.
I mean, worse. I'll only agree to that if we can tie jingle bells to Mike's hair So every time he shakes his head, we get a nice little jingle. Here's what I want to know. This is our coronavirus episode, but we're also a Star Trek band, so we should probably talk a little bit about Star Trek. And, which is funny that I've found myself saying those exact words more than once during our podcast. Remember the Billingsley episode? Hey, John. Let's get back into Star Trek. He didn't want to talk.
I guess we should probably talk about Star Trek at some point.
Hey, that wasn't bad. That little that was pretty good. Anyway, so let's hear. In Star Trek, there were episodes that involved some kind of disease or virus or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hear some favorites of those.
Well, the obvious one is Miri, right off the top of my head.
Yeah, Miri.
Naked Time.
See now, the Naked Time.
Mm-hmm.
Omega Glory. Although Omega Glory was kind of a red herring because
it was a false virus.
It was real, but it was easily cured by just staying on the planet.
Yeah.
Didn't actually have to do anything.
True.
It was a very passive kind of sickness.
I'm trying to remember which episode it was when Odo first basically contracted space IV is what I referred to it as.
Space IV.
It was like the changeling version of the phage
from the Link.
Yeah, from the Link, basically it was like the chemical warfare.
Yeah.
They just poisoned the Great Link.
Section 31.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to him? I don't remember when that happened. What were the symptoms?
He basically just started peeling, and he couldn't hold his shape.
Yeah.
And it was basically transmitted by two changelings joining.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
So what about the Deadly Years? Was that a virus? What was that? Everybody got old. Can't remember why.
I can't remember if that was a virus or some kind of weird time loop thing that they were on.
I don't think it was a time thing. I think it was some kind of virus.
Looking it up, guys.
An old virus.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So, hey, Andy, how you been?
Stressful.
Yeah.
Stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went and got the kids earlier. They did the day at my parents' house down south, and they made an entire Irish dinner in honor of St. Patrick's Day.
That's
so now I'm all full of potato soup and Irish soda bread and this crazy awesome weird apple cake thing that they made. But
we're about to have tacos to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, it's low-level radiation given off by a comet that causes the aging effect. And Chekhov is immune because when he sees a dead person, he freaks out, and the adrenaline is what keeps him from is what allows him to avoid the effects of the radiation.
Wow.
I'm not making this
Science.
up. I'm not making
It's been
this
a
up.
while since I watched that episode then because I don't remember it being that dumb.
Yeah, in fact, my favorite part of the synopsis is the station seems completely deserted until Ensign Chekhov discovers the body of a man who apparently has died of old age and panics. Doesn't specify whether it's Chekhov or the dead man is panicking, but I assume it's Chekhov.
Man, I don't know. Have you ever seen a dead dude panic?
Andy, you were at work today, right?
Yes.
Mike, did you go to the store today?
I did for a little while, mostly because I needed to be there to get my UPS shipment, which they skipped my store anyway. So.
And I also went out briefly today, so none of us are adhering to the guidelines.
No.
Well, to be fair, I had to go into work just to go into work to be told that starting tomorrow I'm going to be working from home. So
yeah. Well, I did have to get medicine because Jennifer has been sick. She was sick prior to the pandemic, and she's getting better, but she still needed some additional medication. So I had to go get some medicine for her. And while I was there, I grabbed some ice cream for the kids, and some. For some reason, we didn't have a working pencil in our house, and so I had some pencils for the kids. Well, we had all these pencils, but they were the kind that when you sharpen, the lead breaks off. Like right when you get to the sharp enough, the lead just like falls out. Worst.
Those are cheap pencils, Chris.
Yeah, I had to go get some Ticonderogas. None of this. What is
number 2
we have in here? But yeah, I recommend it. These are.
This is crazy good podcasting, fellas.
USA Gold, America's Pencil.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris.
I recommend it. Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
No one gives a
Hey. we might have some pencil files out there. Some graphitophiles.
Graphitophiles.
I just made that up, by the way. Real thing.
Graphitorians.
This is great content.
I just like to give Mike. I don't. I feel bad for him just sitting around in his store all day doing nothing. I like to give him something to do, and editing these podcasts, is great. Is a great exercise for him.
I'm not going to edit this. This is as is.
The only time Kelsey and I have been really going out is to walk the dogs lately, but it's kind of nice because it's like a weird ghost town. We don't see all that many people, and if we do, they usually cross over to the other side because we have a sweet ass pit bull with us that is somehow intimidating, but other people are like, "Oh, who's that big boy with the giant ears?"
Hey, Andy, nobody cares.
What? Jesus, Mike. Well, since we're making this not a regular episode, let's kind of wrap up on this. Everyone's stuck inside. Everyone's always looking for new things to either watch, listen to, do whatever. Give me one movie, one TV show, and one musical artist that people should check out while they're holed up at home.
We could be holed up for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and one show that is you have lots and lots of seasons of it. Mike,
no one wants to watch Teen Wolf, Chris. I don't care. You can do it right now.
Teen Wolf is only 5 seasons, and you should definitely watch it. But the show I'm talking about it's just a great show. It's Supernatural.
Yeah.
And you can just burn through episode after episode, and it's just a great show. It has they're currently in their 15th season, but you can stream the first 14. So yeah, I highly recommend Supernatural, especially if you like that, you like that kind of thing. If you're into something if you're not into the supernatural, you can't describe it without calling it what it is. But if you're not into that kind of thing, then I know there's just tons of good content out there today.
The TV show that I would recommend is there's 3 shows. I would recommend watching Stargate. Between all the shows, it's 17 seasons, so that's quite a bit you can watch. And
it's some of SG1. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a really good series. All of them are actually, and it's good sci-fi.
TV show I'd recommend. We polished off the first season of it pretty quickly, and it's currently streaming on Amazon Prime. Is Hunters, and that's with Al Pacino, and it's executive produced by Jordan Peele. It's about late 1970s group of New York Jews that are hunting down former Nazis that we used to work in the concentration camps, and it is phenomenal. It's beautifully shot. The script is wonderful. The plot is really original and great, and it was a pretty satisfying lots of weird twists and turns for like its first season, and it's wonderful. I definitely cannot recommend that show enough.
Yeah, I've wanted to check that out. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, me too.
While I'm here. Oh, if you like quirky comedies with a little bit of edge to them, Sex Education on Netflix is so good. I think there's. I want to say there's at least 2 seasons. There might be 3, but it's really good. I've been watching. Have you guys seen Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist?
Yeah, I've been watching
It's a new show.
I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. Yeah,
it's really good. Jennifer and I have been watching it. I really like it.
Yeah, I like it. It's all right.
It's one of those shows. It's one of those shows where I'm watching it and thinking, man, this show is so good. They're totally going to cancel the show.
Oh yeah, it's definitely getting canceled.
I mean, it's got singing in it and dance numbers. It's totally not going to last.
I mean,
so watch it while you can.
We learned from Gallivant that shows like that don't last.
Ah, man, I miss Gallivant. That show was great.
I forgot to mention that the Stargate shows are all available on Hulu.
Okay.
So movies. What about movies?
Movies. Pick up one that I would truly recommend.
There's so many, and there's.
It kind of depends on what kind of mood you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, are we talking about something that's not necessarily super popular that people will probably have already seen?
I mentioned The Invisible Man earlier, the new one, and that's actually it's really good. I mean, if you want to drop $20, for a rental, then I would recommend it. It's I think Friday is when it's going to be available. Well, I guess it will be available already when this podcast comes out. I think that March 20th is when it's available.
My recommendation is Monster Squad.
Oh, Wolfman as Nards. I haven't watched that in forever.
Well, there you go. That'll eat up 2 hours of your coronavirus.
There you go. Chris, what do you got?
Another movie that was just kind of fun to watch that I saw recently was Crawl. Did you guys see that? It's like the
Crawl?
Yeah, the hurricane and the big alligators. It was surprisingly entertaining. Yeah, it was pretty good. And surprisingly because Barry Pepper's in it.
Okay.
And I think the last thing I remember him doing, I'm sure there's been other things, but it was Battlefield Earth. Is that what that's called?
Oh, God.
With John Travolta?
He was like, Barry Pepper was like the lead in that.
Ugh.
He's not the lead in this, but he's like he's a supporting actor, but it was entertaining. It was kind of a disaster movie mixed with a monster movie. These people are stuck in this house and it's flooding and it's in Florida and these I think it's in Florida, but these alligators are like swarming in. It's great. It's pretty good. It's along the line. It's along those lines of like the Jaws and Piranha and that kind of thing genre.
Yeah.
I like those kind of movies.
So one I love going back and watching, and Mike and I actually watched it together one night, is Gleaming the Cube with Christian Slater. Christian Slater, Tony Hawk, Christian Hosoi, all kinds of awesomeness. 1980s skateboarding movie / murder mystery, I guess.
Kinda.
Revenge for a fallen brother.
Yeah, it's more of a revenge for a murder type movie.
It was like a skateboarding movie with like a 1960s like kung fu movie plot line. But it's fantastic. And a nice slice of 80s cheese.
If you like things a little bit more cerebral than the most recent movie by Bong Joon-ho, Parasite, really good.
Still haven't
really
got to see Parasite yet.
You got it. You know what? Like Snowpiercer is one of his. Oakjaw, The Host. Those are all really good. Really worth watching.
Yeah.
Guy knows how to make a movie.
Do you guys have any music that you would recommend people listen to?
Oh, you know what? If you haven't seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, just get on it, will you?
Chris, stay on subject.
I allow it.
Just say music.
Fine.
Music.
Music.
Any music that you want to recommend?
Five Year Mission has 7 albums, something like that.
Something like that.
8 or 9. I like Wilco. I've been a fan of Wilco for a long time. They have many albums. I found that you go to Spotify and you just throw in an artist you like. You get a lot of good recommendations that are similar to the artist that you like.
Mm-hmm.
I find that's a pretty good method.
They also have that weekly mix or whatever where it shows you the stuff they think you might like.
Yeah, and they have pre-curated playlists that you can queue up that have 80s music or new music or whatever. That's stuff that you can check out.
One band I recently discovered that's a newer band that I really, really like is called White Reaper.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, no, that's the first band I've discovered in a long time that I just really, really like them. So if anybody hasn't heard them yet, just check them out.
It's also a really good time to see if you can find local or regional artists because, like us, we can't go out and play. And so if you find new artists that you like and you can, throw them a couple bucks by downloading a song or ordering a CD or whatever they have, then this is the time, a really good time to do it.
Yeah, pretty much anybody local, anybody independent. I mean, try to support them as much as possible because a lot of people have had to cancel tours. A lot of people have had to cancel a lot of shows, and that's where a lot of their revenue was going to be coming from, and a lot of their exposure was going to be going to. Like MC Chris just had to cancel the rest of his tour, and that was basically how he was getting out of debt, was from these last 14 shows they were supposed to have on the road, but they all got canceled. So he's heading back to the West Coast right now without the $12,000 in his pocket that he was supposed to make and help feed his family. So
that sucks.
Help him out. One band I'm currently obsessed with is Tommy and the Commies. They're kind of 1970s power pop punk type stuff. I compare them a lot to the Buzzcocks, which is Singles Going Steady. They had that song, Ever Fallen in Love with Someone, that was on the Shrek soundtrack that somebody covered, which is weird.
I know.
But
that
yeah,
song.
they're from Tommy and the Commies are from Canada, and they're on Slovenly Records, and I got to see them over the summer with the Mummies and Oblivions, and they were put on a phenomenal show, so good. It's not the lo-fi garage rock that a lot of people know that I'm known to have an affinity for. But yeah, the guitarist is amazing, and they were on the Letterkenny soundtrack. They were they were on the Valentine's Day episode.
Hey, speaking of things that you should be watching,
Letterkenny.
If you haven't seen Letterkenny, it's on Hulu and it's hilarious. It's a specific brand of humor, but it's fun. It's Canadian.
Lots of recurring jokes that you'll probably wind up quoting way too much. My girlfriend would like to suggest that you hop on YouTube and watch all of the Bon Appetit test kitchen videos.
Okay.
Because Brad Leone from Bon Appetit is one of the funniest internet personalities ever, and I adore him. He is an angel sent from heaven.
Wow. Well, another one on Hulu. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's a show. It's hosted by Will Arnett. It's called Lego Masters. It's a reality show. It's a competition, a Lego competition.
I watched the first couple episodes of that.
It's pretty good. I've been enjoying that. And another one, it's on Disney Plus, is Shop Class. It's Justin Long hosts, and it's so funny. A lot like Will Arnett, he's never hosted before anything, and so he doesn't really know what he's doing. But the idea is these kids and their shop teacher, and they come in and they build stuff. But it's very entertaining. It's fun to watch the kids.
Got any podcast recommendations that are not Star Trek podcasts?
I listen to Dax Shepard's podcast, and I also listen to podcast.
Armchair Expert.
Armchair Expert, yep. And Justin Long is Life is Short with Justin Long. And then what's his Joseph Gordon-Levitt? His is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know what it's called.
I've been rewatching Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh my God!
Really? It's called Creative Processing with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's really good. The Upgrade by Lifehacker is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They're like short, entertaining. Of course, Conan O'Brien's is really good. And
Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend is a fantastic podcast.
Yeah, and,
Will Arnett was the most recent guest too.
Man, you know what? The more I hear Will Arnett on podcasts or see him do stuff that isn't, I mean, I like him as an actor, but the more I see him as more like a real person, the more I like the guy. Like he's not only is he's really funny, but he just seems like a real genuine kind of guy. I don't know. Maybe it's a persona, but anyway, the other one is the ID10T podcast with Chris Hardwick. That's a good one.
Okay.
He's been doing that for. He's like in the thousands on podcasts.
Oh yeah, with all the nerdist stuff that he's done.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, my quick hitter recommendations are always going to be Comedy Bang Bang, which is on Earwolf, and another Earwolf one is called Get Rich Nick. It's these two comedians named Nick, and they figure out like different ways to make money every week. And it's just a lot of gig economy type stuff. But one of them went to go try to be like an extra in Hollywood. Another time they went to go try to get on The Price is Right, and one of them actually got on The Price is Right. So those are good ones. But then my most recent one that I found that I was kind of blown away by, because I'm into the funnier kind of true crime podcasts, Small Town Dicks. And the best part about it is that it's hosted by Yardley Smith, the voice of Lisa Simpson. And there's something very funny and unnatural about hearing Lisa Simpson's voice saying, "Holy, that's a lot of blood."
Oh man, what is she famous for outside of Lisa Simpson? I can't remember.
She was in the Legend of Billie Jean.
Yeah, that's right.
When can I get a diaphragm?
Yes.
Maximum Overdrive.
Talk about it.
She was also in the short-lived sitcom. She was also in the short-lived sitcom Herman's Head.
I liked
Can't
Herman's Head.
recommend.
I did too.
I think that we should close with a little bit of a PSA for anyone who's out there, as if you haven't heard it before. The ways to stay safe from this pandemic we're facing right now. Things like, this may for Andy, for you and I, this doesn't apply because we're at home already. But if you feel sick and you are required to go to work, don't go to work. Stay home. Contact your medical provider. Don't go to work. If your children are sick, keep them at home. Now, in this case, again, most schools are closed. But if for some reason you have a daycare or something like that where your children are going, don't send them to daycare. They need to stay home if they're sick. Wash your hands. Wash your hands excessively. Yes.
20 seconds.
What's that?
20 seconds. Wash your hands for 20 seconds.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds. If you do meet with somebody, don't shake hands. Elbow bump. I recommend the courteous
Vulcan greeting.
The Vulcan greeting works. The soft bow. Just the bow of the head with the hands in prayer position. That works
actually
as well. Don't touch each other. And as I touch my face, don't touch your face either.
Actually, my son tonight said that in lieu of shaking hands or hugging, just give each other finger guns.
Oh wow!
Recommendations from an 8-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What else, guys? What else if you're an older person, please stay away from people. Keep yourself at home.
Don't go anywhere unless you have to.
Yeah. Only necessary. Avoid discretionary travel. If you have to go to the shopping, if you have to go on a shopping trip, if you need food, do that. And we are not by any means the experts on this, so
no. But these are the things that have been posted.
Right. Educate yourself. If you're not sure, please look it up. Google is your friend. Just go there and find out. And if you're
reputable websites.
Yes, reputable.
Like WHO.org or CDC.org. They will give you all the necessary recommendations.
Don't count on your president to be able to tell you whether or not you should be quarantining yourself, because he doesn't.
Shouldn't really count on him for most things.
Yeah.
But with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this coronavirus edition of 5-Year Mission, the podcast. And everybody stay safe. Follow us on social media, and you'll hear all about that show this Saturday, March 28th. We'll be coming to you live from Hero House Comics. And we will have more information very soon on our social media about how you can donate, where your money is going to be going, and how to request a song for that specific set.
Stay safe out there, everybody.
We'll talk to you then. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. And we'll see you this Saturday, March 28th, Facebook Live, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Bye.
Fansets.com is your home for all things pop culture pin related. If you were to follow them on Facebook and Twitter, you would have seen that they just announced more Picard pins, such as Elnor and Daj, and man, did they look beautiful. Once I figure it all out and we're all done self-isolating, actually probably before we're done, because I know I'll have money to spend, because I'm not going out anywhere, I just may have to order those. Baby, what do you think? Do you think I should order those?
Sure.
Do you really think I need more pins on that jacket of mine?
Absolutely not.
Why not? It's not nearly beautiful enough yet, and I don't clink around enough when I walk.
Oh, you could definitely use some more clinking, I suppose.
Well, then that way you can hear me coming. Like a dog. See? Like that dog. So head over to fansets.com right now. Place your order. If you want to get 15% off of your entire order, type in the code 5-Year Mission at checkout. That is the number 5 and then all caps, Year Mission, 5-Year Mission. Save some money, show those guys some love, and, pick something up for me while you're at it. Like as soon as that Elnor and Daj pin comes out.
Great.
I sure want to live. I sure want to live.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 5-Year Mission, the podcast. If any of you are interested in listening to more of our music, you can check us out on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes or pretty much anywhere that you can listen to music. Just search for 5-Year Mission and we should be the first thing that comes up. If you would like to contact us in regards to the podcast or anything else that you want to talk to us about, you can email us at 5yearmissionband@gmail.com.
And for more information about the band, you can go to 5yearmission.net. And also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.